Hey, Natsu here. Today I'm going to be doing part 2 of What If Rimuru was summoned as the shield hero. In the last part, he just left the castle after being accused of raping the princess. Him kind of showing pretty much, well, doesn't have dick or anything else for that matter. He showed his wolf, people tried to attack him, and he left the kingdom saying, "Look, I don't even need to be here. I can live the wood just fine if I want to." And basically left, so that, well, he will go back to that kingdom, well, to the town, but he doesn't really care about the king and Malty. From the start, he knew they weren't trustworthy, I would say. So it was kind of easy for him to know, okay, yeah, they're just fucking tricking me. And from what we can learn from the manga, I didn't read a lot of it, but I know one thing. He wants to help everyone unless someone attacks him or his subordinate for no reason. If you do that, you're basically dead, which is pretty much like interesting. So yeah, he left the kingdom, well, the castle, then people were looking at him in town, and he just kind of went out. He doesn't need to look for a weapon or equipment, since, well, he's basically a god in that universe, and he's just going to keep getting stronger, like in his world normally, as well as gaining more strength thanks to the shield and level up and stuff like that. So he's basically a god immortal slime that can basically absorb anything no matter the freaking size of it. And if he needs to, he can literally just pop out some of his potion and heal people. So yeah, he's pretty strong. So yeah, with Ranga, the wolf he named, he started going and trained for a while. At some point, I would say, in the anime, now for me, like a day or two after he got accused, he went to the slave dealer. Let's say he goes there to just because he wants to try and help. He got the money, don't worry, because thanks to all the training he did and all he had from his old world, as well as the potion. No, literally, he has like an unlimited amount of potion in him. He could basically heal the entire forest of Jura like 20 times and still have a lot left. So he has a lot. So he sold some of those for a lot of money, since basically, as long as you're still alive, it saves you. So yeah. He yeah, sorry, I had to pause for a bit. So like I was saying, he sold some of his potion to get a lot of money. Then he went to the slave trader because, well, the slave trader kind of forced him in a bit. He was Rimuru was walking around looking, and then he saw this little raccoon girl that was coughing. Thanks to his shield, he saw that she was low level and sick, and he decided to buy her. After everything was complete, Rimuru, Rimuru walked out with her and went in the woods. She was a bit scared, and then Rimuru said it might sting a bit, and threw a potion at her, which instantly all of her bruises and even her sickness got healed. And she was asking him, "Why did you do that? I'm just a slave." Which he then said, "I don't think of you as a slave. Anyway, hello, my name is rimuru. I'm the one who was summoned as the shield hero." Which she kind of lightened up about that, since her parents said that the shield hero is actually the guy that normally gets summoned by the beastmen and is actually normally extremely good to them. So she talked with him for a bit. Things happened. Then he said, "Okay, Ronka, you can't come out." And then the Ronka just kind of come out of the shadows, and she kind of got scared for a bit, seeing a freaking wolf just come out of nowhere. Then Rimuru said, "Don't worry, it's okay. His name's Ronka. I named him the other day. Um, yeah, so he tells her that where he was before being summoned. He told her about that. Then he said, "I'm gonna show you something that no one has needs to know about. Actually, I would prefer it if you kept that a secret." She asked him, "What do you mean?" And then he transformed into his slime form and said, "Well, I'm basically a monster." Which she basically mostly just find him cute because he was just a little blob. He said, "If sometime we have to walk like that, if we have to pass to different place where I can be seen, I want you to keep me in your arms while I'm like that." So she accepted. Then he said about in his world when people name monster or other beings, they can evolve. He he goes to name her and she said, "But what do you mean evolve?" Then he said, "Well, in my world, when monsters get stronger, naturally they don't really grow. But if a monster is given a name, the one who gave a name will give part of their magic to them and it will evolve the monster." Then he points to Ranga and said, "Basically, that's what I did with him. He was just a little wolf when I saw him and I named him. The next day, when I woke up, he was like that." I'm gonna say it right now, the wolf can't talk, for now. Later he will. Because, well, I'm basically going to make him closer and closer to Runga, sorry. So, yeah. Then she tells him that demi-human actually grow while they level up. So she might look young right now, but if she levels up for a bit, she'll be an adult. Then she asks, wait, what's your age? Which Rimuru kind of laughs a bit and said, well, I was a re- I died in my first world, got reborn in my second, and well, to be honest, I don't even remember what his age is in that new world. I'll go check for now. Okay, well, funny, his name is 3. He's freaking young. Even though most slime probably don't even get to that age, since they're some of the weakest monster and just get killed off pretty easily. So he tells her that, and she's like, wait, that means I'm older than you? And he said, yeah, well, before dying the first time, I was 40, so in total, it would make 43. Which makes her laugh a little for some reason, because he's still looks pretty young because of his human form. So yeah. Then he tells her, so when you gain level, you grow up. That's right? She says yes. She still she isn't like super happy. It's just that sometimes she laughs, but then kind of try to take back her composure. She's mostly kind of tense, just like with Naofumi. It's just that him being in a slime form for half of the conversation kind of calmed her down for a bit, since he is kind of cute in that form, and she's a kid, so yeah. So then her Rimuru tells her, well, we're going to train. So he takes her in a party, just like he did with Ranga, which I would say Ranga would be about the same level as him, or one level higher, probably. Raftalia at the start of the series was. I can't see it just right now, but I think she was at level 1 at the start of the series, if not level 2. So I'm just going to say 1. With Naofumi being able to level up Slave faster because of the skill of the shield, I would say that Rimuru has that too. So they start going out to train in the forest, but one difference, they go far, really far. And Ravdalia asked him, like, is he really going to go this far? Monsters are going to be really powerful. Then he tells her, don't worry, um, I'm already strong, which he is. Then she says, but don't, didn't you take me so that I could fight in your place? He just thought, it's true that you should be able to fight for if I am able to go back to my world. So, inside of his body, he requ- he makes a new sword, like smaller for Raftalia, with a belt and a holder for the sword, or dagger, mostly, and give it to her. She was surprised that he was able to do that and asked, and he said that's basically because of one of the powers I have from being a slime. Normally slime don't have that, since normally slime don't actually have more consciousness than attack and eat. So yeah. Then he arrives deep in the forest and finds a monster that's pretty big. Raftalia is just afraid of it because, well, it's big, and it goes to attack them, and Rimuru just basically does, um, wait a sec. Okay, so the skill is called Black Thunder because there is Black Lightning, which requires to be or a Tempest Wolf or a Dragon, but Black Thunder, which is the one I was looking for, can be used in human form and cost a lot less energy. So he used that and basically annihilated the monster. He gained 1 level, Ranga gained 1 level too, and well, Raftolia, since she gains I think 1.5 or 2 times the XP, got 3 level. No, 2 level I mean. So, because now she's at level 3. So, yeah, Rimuru level 5, Ranga level 5, and Raftalia level 3. So, after a while of fighting like that, he gets to level 10, she gets to level 9, Ranga level 10, and they go back to the city, where Ranga once again goes in his shadow, and Raftalia and Rimuru walks around the city. I know level 10 is high since level 3 is kind of the limit, mostly with how long it took the first time to get to that point, but remember, Rimuru can kill monsters, could kill any wave boss in like a single hit if he wanted to. So he can kill monsters easily. So at some point he meets with the blacksmith. The blacksmith looks at him and thinks, you can't have done anything to the princess. You don't even look strong enough to try and push her around. Which Rimuru laughs and said, yeah, well, there's more reason than that for me not doing, even trying it. Which the blacksmith kind of looks at him weirdly. He said, well, if we go inside, I can show you the reason. He's going to be one of the 4 only people that knows it, if I don't count Raftalia and Philo, because the queen and the princess that's going to be the next queen, not bitch, um, those 2 will know, the blacksmith will know, and um, also the queen of the Florial, yeah. Basically, those will be the only 4 people that aren't in Rimuru's team that will actually know about that. So when they get in, he basically stripped down and they see that he's literally doesn't have a dick or anything. Doesn't have any organs to even try to do that, so then he transforms into his slime form and says basically I'm a slime and I I I wasn't even in here in the city to try and do it. I was out in the wood training that this guy, Ronka, coming out, and the blacksmith kind of just looking at it like, what the hell is that? How do you bring a wolf in here? Which just went back in his Rango just went back in his shadow. Rimuru transformed back with clothes on, and he basically said that all he knows is that he was transported to this world, and that the king automatically disliked him, or not even him. He thinks he just basically hates anyone who will be the shield hero. The blacksmith asked him, "Why do you think that?" And then he said, "Well, because I have a skill that's called Great Sage. It knows practically anything, with another skill that I have that is called Magic Sense. I can know the aura of people, I can see, hear, whatever." And both him and the princess were basically liars. That's all it was. Most of the time when they were talking directly to me or trying to make it look like they were trying to help me, they were basically forcing it out of their ass. Which the blacksmiths kind of laugh about that, so yeah. After a while, um, they go to the other place to get materials because the blacksmith actually asked if they could help. Rimuru, mostly having only the magic ore, wanted went and to get the other things, then just thought, wait, I could have give him some of the refined ore and probably get a better payment. Then he said, no matter, I'm going to go get those anyway. So they went to the city, they talked with people, then they went in the cave. Basically, Rimuru was collecting ore pretty easily simply by eating them, then refining them inside his own body. Practically cleared half of the mine doing that, but still. They see the monster. Rimuru, having heard her scream in her sleep, knew about her fear of monsters, certain monsters, saw her face, and decided that he was going to force her to face her fear. So just like in the anime, he gets hurt, in quotation mark. Raftalia then kills it, then it helps her, then he basically just heals himself out of nowhere. So yeah, they go back out to the village, they talk to people, they get to know people, they leave, and then later the first wave arrive. So when they get sent to the first wave, first thing Rimuru saw was that the town was being attacked by some monsters, and he said, I'm going to help the town. They said, suit yourself, rapist and stuff. They So, Rimuru being Rimuru, wanting to help everyone, literally out of nowhere just said body double, and the black smoke created multiple clone of himself. Oh yeah, also I should probably say he has his mask back since the last episode of the first season she gave it to the kids. He made himself a new one. I would say now he uses it most of the time, basically hiding his face normally. So he makes body doubles that goes and attack monsters, save people. He fights with Raftalia for a bit, up until the soldiers send a magic attack that will basically destroy half of that town. But in this one, Rimuru basically just absorb it, since there's no need for it, since there's no monster left. So after that, when the way is over, people are thanking him, no one else. The three other heroes are basically mad about that. Then comes to the ceremony for winning the first wave, and just like in the anime, um, Multi, the oldest one, tells Nauf, not Naofumi, but Motoyasu that she's a slave. He must have took her and is using her. Him getting mad. Then he asked to fight him for so that if he wins, he releases Raftalia, and if Rimuru wins, well, he can have something. Rimuru looks around and said, "If if that if I win, all I want is to be left alone. I'm going to quit this city anyway afterward. So yeah, all I'm going to do is take, let's say he says like 500 silvers." Motoyasu says, "Okay, but you're not going to win it." So the battle starts, and at first Rimuru all he does is block, 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 until Multi decides to use Multi, Multi uses her magic, and the second she does that, Rimuru basically just jump up, missing that, and it hits Motoyasu. The two other heroes saw it, but everyone else, since the king told them to not fucking say a thing, don't do anything. Then Rimuru saw that it was they were basically trying to take him down, decided to say, "Fine, you want to try and take me down? I'm gonna let you hit me as many times as you want." Then Motoyasu tries to hurt him, and for like 30 minutes, let's say, Motoyasu's hitting him over and over and over and over again, and Rimuru doesn't even seem to be bothered by it. So then suddenly Rimuru grabs his weapon, pushes it away, and basically just giving him one single punch sent him literally through a wall, which nobody saw that coming. Motoyasu being literally knocked out almost says, "I'm not done yet." And then Rimuru said, "Oh, you are." Looking up, he just, well, basically, how would I say it? Rimuru, um, I know what I want to say, but I can say it right now. Rimuru lifts his hand in the air and makes a black flame, like the massive ball of black fire just over his head, and said, They said the wave would become more difficult if one of the hero dies, but I'm stronger than any of you combined. What do you want to do to me? So either forfeit or you may disappear. Because, like I said to you previously, I don't care what you want from me. I didn't try to rape the princess. All I want to do is help people and go back to my world. And all you did was say, no, she's the princess, she would never lie. When in reality, she fucking did. Actually, the moment she tried to enter my team, she lied saying that it would be pleasant to be with me. She was lying about that. Trash too was lying. A lot. I know that. Then he closes his hand, takes out the flames. Then Motoyasu goes to try and throw his weapon, and then he just see that in the other hand, is, Rimuru's basically grabbing it, and for some reason, Motoyasu isn't capable of making it come back. Because in the anime, they're able to make them come back to themselves the second they don't have it. But right now, what's happening is that Rimuru is analyzing it and basically blocking any magic from happening from it. So it literally can't be moved from there. After he analyzed it, he saw that there was a lot of things that he had, like the power of his weapon and stuff, and Rimuru let go of it, which it directly went back to Motoyasu. Motoyasu said, I don't know how you did that, but I'm going to beat you. Which then Rimuru said, I don't think so. I just scanned your weapon and I know exactly what it's made of and I can replicate it. They look at him and suddenly they just see a blue flash and he has the same aim spear as Motoyasu. And then he changed it into the different form Motoyasu has and says, wow, so each weapon contradicts anything else except each other. That's interesting. And both the king, the princess, and everyone else were basically freaking the fuck out. The church was mad because someone literally stole the weapon, so they call him the demon of the shield earlier in this one. Then he grabs his 500 coins from Motoyasu and doesn't even try to get his reward for the next day from the king, and just goes to the um, slave trader. So, at first, he wants to remove the slave crest, but um, Raftalia says that it doesn't need to be removed, which he accepts. No, which she says, well, it doesn't really matter. If you want to stay with me, I can do something else. I can just give you a name, or a second name. Then they remove it. Then he sees the eggs and asks the slave trader what they are. And then he takes one, well, buys one. And after a bit, a little Florial is born. It is the same egg, so once again it's Philo. Just like in the anime, everything happens actually about the same for her to grow. Then he gives her the same name, Philo, just because he isn't even bothering right now with the name. Then Raftalia tells him, "You said you would give me a second name, right?" Which he then thinks and said, "Yeah, I did say that." So he says, "My full name is rimuru Tempest. So your new name will be Raftalia Tempest. Proof as of you being my subordinate." Which she then feels a boost in magic surrounding her, and they were in the middle of the city when he named both of them, and people just saw two flashes of light kind of flashing on them. Then after a while, Motoyasu arrives with Malty. The same thing happens. So this time, since Rimuru is basically a lot lighter, that he can basically do something that renders magic practically useless against him, basically absorbing it. When they start the course, the first time he sees someone use magic, he basically decides that he's going to activate his predator skill to eat any magic coming towards him. So the moment someone tries to slow him down, it doesn't work. So he's still in front of Motoyasu, then Motoyasu get boosted, and everything happens the same up until, well, they won. Then after the battle, well, the race, Philo transformed into her queen mode, which is basically a fat burb, like Motoyasu said. Sorry for that. And he get kicked in the crotch. So then Raftalia ask him, do they norm do normally people, well, monsters evolve that fast? He says no, which she didn't evolve like that because of the name. But I would say that no, I would say that it did help and it boosted her power basically. So it will count as her evolution. Later she'll get the family name, which will make her evolve a second time. Raftalia will evolve soon and basically will be at her strongest, since he won't give her another name. Also, it will remove the level limit of 40, so they'll just basically continue leveling up, leveling up, and leveling up for practically ever. And also, they're growing like Rimuru can do now. So They just basically need to sit around and they can get more powerful. So, yeah, after that happened, he decided to do the same thing with Runga and give him a second name, since, well, okay, so yeah, he finished with, he names Runga for the second time with Runga Tempest, and after that, for a while, just like in the anime, they start going around. After a while, once again, they meet Melty, the younger one, which was not in presence of her father for a majority of her life, which makes her an actually good princess. It's been a few days before they meet her, so Raftalia changed. She looked adult and also has a different color pattern for her. Well, also look a bit more animalistic, thanks to, well, evolution. Ranka now actually looks more like Ranga from the anime. That time got reincarnated as a slime. He has one horn, a star on his head, white fur in some places, and is bigger. Philo, like said, well, her evolution will look like that, so basically didn't change that. Just like in the anime, she transformed into her human form. They did basically the same thing to get the clothing. Then they went to the place where it was overrun with trees. The place where they forgot, well, no, where the people were like the kingdom was the king that was taking over that place was thrown down, but it just made them worse. That place, well, they basically did the exact same as the original. For the second place, though, Rimuru basically kind of absorbed all the plants on all of them, both with his shield and with his own body. And for the big one, he basically absorbed it all in one go. Just like in the anime, he decided to modify the fruit with a new shield to make them just produce a lot of fruit, and that's basically it. And after that, they go to the dead dragon part. So basically, Rimuru healed everyone, then went to the dragon and basically just devoured it before it even tried to look alive. So he gained new skills from that. He already ate dragons, but that basically gave him poison resistance, poison breath, poison claw, and after that he fed a part of it to his shield, which made a new shield. So he doesn't get the raid shield, which he wouldn't need even. Hell, he has a wolf that evolved to have some of his power, so he can basically do the black lightning. He can make fire. Raphtalia, just like in the anime, has light and dark magic, but with once again a boost from what rimuru can do, so a lot more powerful. Same thing for Philo. So they're basically all a gang. They're a gang of strong people that can do a lot of shit. So then they meet Melty. They they pass time with her. Everything happens the same. They bring her back to the capital. Then I'm going to end it here. If you don't like that I give him the capacity to name monsters or demi-human and make them evolve, tell me in the comments. It won't change that I'm doing it because, well, literally the story has to revolve around the capacities Rimuru has, which this is one of the things he does every time he gets or a new subordinate or a new friend. The only one who didn't do it is Milim, because she's a demon lord. So basically, yeah. So he tried it once, it worked, and now he gave name to his team. So yeah, that was part 2 of what Rimuru was summoned as the shield hero. So Natsu out.